here at Blackfyre Productions, and welcome back to another World War Marvel. Today, not doing a battle report. We have a bit of a lockdown that's a continuing thing here in Ontario, and stay-at-home orders. So what we are doing instead, are what I am doing instead, I'm going to be doing a unboxing and review of CP61 Sin and Viper. So I recently got this from Torchlight Games and Hobbies, so a big shout out to those guys over there. It's a great store here in Ontario, based out of Burlington, and they carry everything that you need for your hobbies. If you need hobby supplies, definitely reach them out. There'll be a link in the description of the video down below. You can use Fire 5, so the fire at the end of Blackfyre, and then 5, the number, to get a 5% discount on your hobby supply needs. So make sure you check out that link, and if you need anything, pick them up from those guys there. But yeah, so I picked this up. I haven't built it yet because I wanted to do an unboxing because I knew that we were under the stay-at-home order, and so I was like, well, and some people might ask, how did you pick it up if you're under a stay-at-home order? I had it shipped to me because they do have great shipping rates as well for across Canada and Ontario for their stuff. So I think it's like, I can't remember. I know I had this conversation with David, one of the owners, and it's like either $70 or $75, and you get free shipping across Ontario. So I just made sure I bought a whole bunch of supplies, and away I went. But yeah, so I knew that we were going to have a stay-at-home order, and the lockdown and such was going to be ongoing. So I thought, well, I'll do an unboxing and put my thoughts together in the sense of throw a list together using at least one of these two characters. And just do a general overview as well. So without further ado, let's jump into this box and get right into the unboxing and chat about Sin and Viper. So here we are with the unboxing portion of the video for Sin and Viper. So CP61, you can see obviously as per normal with all the different Atomic Mass Games boxes, they have all the little write-ups on them and everything else. Artwork is fantastic, and the paint jobs on the miniatures also very good. Pull these suckers open. You obviously have your cards and your tactics cards, character cards and tactics cards, your instructions for how to build these people, which I will do later on in this video. I'm going to pull out my super glue, my clippers, and we'll also throw them together to see how well they go together. And then the actual sprues themselves, with obviously the bases. So let's open that up first, and then see what the sprues have to say and how many components they come in. So this is looking like it would be Viper, and then the other one would be Sin. So this is going to be Viper first. I don't know if you can get that in focus. There we go. You can see the base there with the tactical rocks and the pistol and the sword and everything else. And then you can see the, I don't know how well you can see it. Let's see if that will zoom in or focus, I should say. You can see the scaling actually lines in the actual sprue or the plastic themselves, which is nice. I don't know how well that's going to show for me with the primers that I use. I might have to go back and get a better primer because sometimes my stuff does go on thick. If not, I'll just try to freehand it if there's any issues. Then you got Sin's over here with her tactical rocks and the bullet holes and the cracks and everything there. So, but yeah, so that's what they are. Not super hard, not a lot of components with these guys. I do have fat fingers, so I find that the smaller components are a little bit harder for me sometimes to manage and put together in that. So that's what they look like on the sprues. And then you obviously have, for anybody that hasn't played any Marvel Crisis Protocol, you get your extra bases and the standard base designs with some little debris that are like bottles and coffee cups that you can throw on your bases to dirty them up if you want. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking in my head recently that I might change up like my basing and just add more rubble and stuff like that than just throwing them on the standard base, just to make them a little bit more provocative, I guess, thought-invoking, or just look nice, more appealing, I guess, is even a good term. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to be doing. So I might try to do like a theme eventually with with my bases. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so that's all the spruce stuff. Components wise, they're saying, or steps wise, they're saying for Viper there is 5 steps, and then you have 5 for Sin, and then 3 for Viper. They got no extra special rules or anything on the back that you need to be made aware of, because that's usually where they attach it. So I'm gonna build these up quickly. I'll get my mat, throw it down here, and start clipping away. So I'm going to start off with building Viper first, and it says here in the instructions that you're going to take B2 and B3, which is that piece there and that piece there, so the basic torso, and you're going to put them together. So I'm just going to clip them out and go from there. So I don't, as many of you guys, if you've been following along with me for the last while on the channel and everything else, I don't play a lot of evil teams. And affiliations, maybe the Brotherhood, due to the fact that I am a big fan of X-Men and the mutants, and so I got these guys, and I've been trying to think of a list that I could use. I have used a little bit of the Criminal Syndicate before, things like that, so I'm just test fitting to see how they go together. But yeah, normally I don't do a ton of evil things, a ton of evil factions. I tend to do, I think, more like Defenders and X-Men. I've enjoyed using Guardians because they're fun and random. And so it really makes me think hard as to what and who I want to bring in a Cabal list, because I barely ever play them. And Sin has a leadership for the Cabal list, which we'll go into later on after I'm done building them and taking a look at after I'm done building these guys and we take a look at the actual final sculpts. I struggled a little bit to sort of find the place for the evil guys. Obviously, I knew I knew that if you're going evil and going Cabal and that, like MODOK is almost like a guaranteed take because he's so good. So he's definitely made my list, but I'm like just trying to think of tactics wise that I could use for him and stuff. And so I did get one to put together. The sword is very thin, and I hope I do not snap it or clip it and break it. But yeah, so I'm hoping that I put together a good list. And we'll see. I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video. Basically, the tactics cards I brought, as well as the list and stuff like that. And I'm open to criticism, constructive criticism, I'll say. You know, if there's things that I could do better or add in, that's awesome. Let me know. And the big thing for me is I'm not a super competitive, have to bring the most best combinations of things. I generally do play theme, as most of you know, and so I will stick more to, if I'm playing evil, it'll be like a evil team, unless there's a reason why the good and evil have came together. And when I say good and evil, I guess that's really up to your interpretation, but you know, generalization, you know what I mean. But yeah, so we'll see what happens there. So I'm going to do the head next, B1 into the torso. Let's see if I can get it in there so it just fits it nice and snug. I don't know if you can see that there yet. So I'll put a little bit of super glue in that. It's always hard trying to do this. It's awkward because I'm standing over my table, my gaming table outside to film this, because filming in my house with 3 young kids, 2 of which are doing homeschooling in the kitchen, which is where my painting table is, and trying to do a video of doing this type of stuff is a lot of work. I don't have a dedicated space in my house to do any gaming or anything. It's all out in my back garage, which is awesome. I love my garage. I'm not trying to knock my garage, because for the people that have seen it, they can probably attest to it's large and holds a ton of space and everything else. But yeah, so got her head on there. Let's do B5, which is the sword arm, into the torso here. But yeah, so it would be harder to film this inside, and so where I can actually sit down at a table and do all this stuff. Maybe I should have done the arm first, I'm thinking, just for, no, there we go, I got it. But yeah, so that's why I'm out here doing it. I'm like standing and I'm trying to make sure it's focused or in frame on the camera and stuff like that. And hopefully it turned out well. I'm hoping maybe if I get good at doing stuff like that, or stuff like this, I might eventually expand into like making a workstation set up for like painting and stuff like that, and maybe do like some live stream chats as I'm hobbying instead of these videos and that. That's my thoughts. So let me know what you guys think on that as well. So there's her. I was about to say there's her arm attached. My glue just did not want to activate. We'll get it. We'll get it. But yeah, what are you guys working on? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you just painting on stuff? Are you working on terrain? You know, when it comes to Cabal and these characters, what are your thoughts on that's where we're at right now. What are your thoughts on tactics cards that you should be using and everything else in between? So now we're taking B4. Let's see if I can... B4-4? Isn't that a band? A male boy band from back in like long time ago, like maybe late 1990s, early 2000s, either way. Yeah, B4 going into the shoulder socket as well, so fits nice and snug. It works. Let's get that on here. Just a little dollop of glue. I do say I enjoy the pose for Viper. I think she looks very dynamic and like she's flying through the air, which you guys will see momentarily once I get it all glued together. So there's that. Oh, the arm's not fully set yet. It will in time. I don't want that gap there though. Again, small thin things in my fingers do not work all the time. The struggles are real. There we go. In. It's in. It's in. So there's the Viper so far. Yeah, I just love that little lunging pose. And I think for anybody like that's a good converter, that can convert things and stuff, I think this actually would make a decent like X23 figure as well. Get rid of the katana or keep the katana and add the claws on there and stuff like that. Really your choice, but I just think it would make a really good pose for X23. So like Vincent, who you guys may have seen on the channel before, he does a lot of conversions and stuff. I think he would have a heyday with this figure doing an X23, and if he does, well, or if anybody else has, let me know because I want to see it. That would be awesome. So, and it would fit in with the X-Force stuff that is coming out very soon, I think. Because yeah, why wouldn't you? I know myself, I'm excited for the X-Force stuff. It was supposed to be out by now, and I was hoping to get it all painted up and everything. But it's not out yet here in North America. But I think it's May 7th is the last I heard. So I'm going to be pre-ordering it and getting it again from Torchlight Games is the thought. So I'm going to use this base. Do I want to use that base? Yeah, why not? And I'll just glue her, or glue this. It says to attach her to this piece beforehand. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to glue it first. And then I'll attach it, or attach her to the base piece here, the tactical rock, as everybody has been saying. So and what I do when I'm doing this is I just try to imagine where the body will be going when attached to this, and basically put it over the center of the base. So let me see if I can grab that. It's not quite the way I want it, so I'm just going to move it around. Just re-angle it so she's pointing over the center of the base. So that way, like, the weight distribution is more centered, and you're not having bases that are going to do things. And I know other people are like, well, that's why you should do it first, but it's just not what I do. I know you can, and that's what they say. But yeah, that is it. just turn that slightly. Yeah. Push that in so it gets a nice seal, and that should be X23. Sorry, I said X23, meant Viper. Viper pretty much done. Just waiting for the glue to dry and everything else. And the glue is dried at least enough that I'm going to pick her up and show her off. So you can see that she's jumping through the air off her, I don't even know what that is, if it's like supposed to be like a door frame down there or what, that she's jumping off of, or I shouldn't say a door frame, but a door. So my idea with this is just to add more rubble in around there and yeah, paint her up nicely. So that katana is fantastic. The sculpt is great. Definitely very dynamic of her jumping through the air. Yeah, like she's gonna slice some heads off after shooting them to keep them down and undercover, and then jumping at them and bringing the damage. But yeah, so that's her. Let's get moving on to Sin next. So it says to take A2 and A3, put them together, which are just the torsos here. So this piece here, and then that's A2. So we'll dry fit those guys, see how they go together after we clip them off, and then go from there. That is the top, that is the top. Let me just grab them again. Fat fingers makes it hard to hold on to them and grab them, so they just fit nicely, snug together, like so. Let me get that little bit of sprue that I left on there. So I'll just glue those into position. Get my trusty Gorilla Glue. That's the glue that I use. Why? Because I can get it for cheap at our one of our, you know, like Canadian Tires, which is like a hardware store type thing. Well, they have a little bit more than just hardware, but yeah, it is a hardware store for the most part. So, but yeah, that's what I use. So yeah, glue them together. There's a basic torso that you're going to be building off of. Then you get A6 and A7, which are her legs. If you hear any thunder in the distance, we got a big storm coming through right now. It's what, 10 o'clock in the morning, and it looks like, you know, the sun is going down outside because of the rain clouds and everything else, so you might hear some thunder, or the power might go out because of the lightning and that, but we'll hopefully get this done before that happens. So that is the hope. Where'd the other leg go? So you got the two legs, they're just gonna slot together somehow. Where am I looking here? So you got this nubbin over here. Yes, I said nubbin. And you just put it in like so, and they just connect right like that. So again, insert. Again, fat fingers can't hold shit. Stuff, yeah, just like that. So I'll throw some glue, and then we'll get it drying. And there we go. So that's her legs. Now there's no feet on these legs because they're actually on the base pieces themselves. And then, yeah, so I'm just going to clip out everything else because everything else just slots into the torso. You have her head. Let me see if I got enough of that off. Where does that go? I'll have to fix that. I think I might have made a slight mistake in clipping off certain portions of the base or the head, but I think I can fix it. I'll figure it out momentarily. Let's just continue clipping off the rest of the stuff. So the hands, bases I'll do last. Alright, now to start gluing. I'm going to start with the legs, so I'll just put the glue into the slot in the bottom, and then we'll go from there. that's nice and snug, just like so. Glue's not setting, and it's setting to my skin, just not the legs and the torso together. I'll do the head last, so that way I can sort of work with it and stuff. So this left arm is just the one with the gun, or sorry, with the dagger. And that will just go in there. Again, legs want to stick to my hand more than to the torso. Ugh. Fingers down. It's a sticky mess. That's right. It's a sticky mess. Too much glue in that one, but that's okay. I almost should have like some super glue activator or something like that I can shoot it and have it basically set right away. That would be helpful, but I do not. Just a little dollop of glue, getting the pistol in there now. Now figure out that head. I don't know if I cut a bit of the insert off, I think is what happened when I was doing the head, and so we'll have to figure that out. I'm gonna stop this video so I can bring it up closer and take a closer look at it. Yeah, so I fixed her head. Not that it was a big fix, it was just making sure that everything was on the right angle and attached it, because I did end up clipping a little bit of the insert in there, so I just wanted to make sure everything was good. So that's why I turned the camera off, so that way I could bring it back a little bit closer to me and take a better look at it. But yeah, that's okay. It is what it is. So let's start working on the base now. The base that I'm gonna use with her, it's just gonna be this. Actually, I'm gonna use the flat one here. It just makes more sense, I think. So we'll just clip that off the base, and then so these are pieces A9 and A8. You can see that her foot is there and there as well. So the legs will just slot into that. Once I get these glued together, that is. And I do gotta say, like, these aren't super hard models to put together. They're nice, very few pieces and components, and that just goes in quite nicely, just like so. Yeah, so just in there like so. So I'll throw some glue in there and get that on as well. And inserted that like so, and it's setting. So put that down there, and then what I'm going to do is grab Sin and see how she places on that. Just do like a quick dry fit, because I don't know. Let's see. Looks like there's just a couple of little inserts that she just sits in. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but yeah. Basically just sits in that insert there. And then, yeah, there's no glue or anything like that on there. Just sits there. So let's get some glue on that and get it situated. Then we'll bring her up and take a quick little look at her as well, and go from there. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to when this whole COVID stuff ends. I'm looking forward to actually getting out and, you know, even if it's small events, going to an event. Like usually each year, I would go to like Nova down in the States, because I have friends that go there, as well as Devin, who runs another one of the tournament, well, a bunch of the tournaments there for SBG, which is something that I enjoy playing, and so like I go support him and see friends and everything while down there. And then I've even started going to what's the one? Man, I can't even, Adepticon. I was drawing a blank there for a second. In March, I was gonna go last year to that, and that didn't even happen. And so, like, I'm looking forward to like even going to small events, seeing friends, getting lots of games in, and enjoying it, and running. Not necessarily do we need a tournament heavy list, but at least a list that I think would be at least somewhat competitive and have fun and everything like that. So I'm gonna glue Sin to the base. Once that's done, we'll bring her up, show you, and then we can start taking a look at those cards. So let's get the glue on here first. But yeah, no, I don't want to say I'm done with this, because, you know, people's lives that are being affected drastically by this virus, but I just want to start playing games with friends more regularly and consistently, and going back to tournaments and such. So that's drying. Hopefully you can see her down there pretty well. But yeah, the sculpt is fantastic. I actually love enjoy Viper sculpt more than Sin's, but there is absolutely nothing wrong with Sin sculpt either. So yeah. It's going to be fun to paint. I haven't painted MCP character or model in some time, so it's going to be nice to get back into painting that. And I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, I guess it's actually a week, next week, when Cable and Deadpool and all them come out, I'll be able to start working on those guys as well. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So let's do the cards next. So here we are with the cards and the tokens and the contents within that package. Let's do the tokens first off. You obviously get all your Hydra tokens, double-sided Hydra tokens. You have your Demolition Charge, which is needed for one of the tactics cards, Poison, Slow, and Stun condition, because Viper can give out those 3 conditions, so you're going to need some of those top tokens. And like I said, tactics cards, you need Demolition Charge, which is that. You have 2 tactics cards we'll look at. Once I grab them, that is, you have Illicit Tech, which during Crossbones or Sin's activation, they may spend 1 power to play this card. This character may use the attack shown above once this activation. After the attack is resolved, the character gains power equal to the damage dealt. After the attack is resolved, the target character and enemy characters within range 2 of the character gains the Incinerate special condition, and then the attack can only have have dice added to the attack roll from critical results, and this character cannot modify its attack dice during this attack. So what it is Expo Sin Plasma Rifle, so Crossbones and Sin Plasma Rifle is a range 5, 6-die energy attack, 0 power cost because you're paying the 1 power for the tactics card, so it's built into that. And then you gain that power back, which is really, really good, but you're also doing Incinerate status condition to characters that are within range 2 of the target character. Sorry, I should say not characters, enemy characters within range 2 of the target character. So, and yeah, so that's really good. It helps with the status conditions. Incinerate is fantastic. So basically, I see myself, if I'm going to be playing Crossbones, I'm going to be playing that. Like, hands down, I'll be playing that. Not a problem. The other tactics card is to Ashes and Cinder. It's an unaffiliated reactive card. At the start of the activation phase, Sin or Crossbones may spend 2 power to play this card. Place a Demolition Charge token within range 3 of this character during the next cleanup phase. All characters that are within range 2 of the Demolition Charge token gain the Stun special condition. And they then suffer 2 damage. Destroy all terrain features of size 3 or less within 2 of the Demolition Charge token, then remove the token from the battlefield. So the big trap basically that they've set, and then everybody's going to be taking damage. As mentioned, and terrain's going to be destroyed, and the stun condition as well. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, people that have a lot of throws, or I should say teams and squads that have a lot of throws or pushes and such, will have great use to hopefully be able to manipulate people to getting those guys in there into range of that while keeping your own character safe. So like something like a E condition where you're set up, you can put that near in between your opponent's half of the board, between their token and the middle token, and then watch the things burn and have fun from there. At least that's a play that I have in my mind for that to Ashes and Cinder. Character cards wise, let's take a look at those. We'll do Sin first. Sin, she has 4 stamina, movement of medium, size 2, and threat cost of 3. Defenses, physical and energy are 3, then Mystic is 4. She has an automatic pistol, which is the same pistol that you see from Mystique and stuff like that. So range 3, 4 dice, and then you gain 1 power after the attack is resolved, and it has rapid fire. But the second shot with rapid fire, and it's automatic rapid fire, but the second shot does not have the rapid fire special rule. So you're guaranteed to gain 2 power from that automatically, which is great, and it's 8 dice for your basic attack, so not bad at all. And you have, for those that don't know, you have to target the original target with the second rapid fire shot. But it's 8 dice against them, so I'll take it. I'll take it all day. And if they're under the Incinerate special condition, even better. Yeah, if you have a means like a hammer or something to increase the damage, even better. It's great. Then make it personal, so it's range 2, 6 strength attack, so 6 dice, cost 4 energy. On a crit or a wild, you have insult to injury after this attack is resolved. The character may make an additional make it personal attack without spending the power. The additional attack must target the original target and is a mystical attack instead of a normal physical attack type. The additional attack does not have the insult to injury special rule. So she's all about getting extra attacks in with her basic strikes there. So under the right conditions, specifically with Make It Personal. So you could be doing a 12 dice attack. And theoretically, if you're in the right position, you could quite easily be making 4 attack rolls with her turn. So her leadership ability, because she is a leader for the Cabal, during the cleanup phase, after scoring VPs, roll a die for each objective token contested by an allied character. If the result is a crit, wild, or hit, push the enemy character contesting the objective. Push each enemy character contesting the objective token away from the objective's token short. And then roll a die for each enemy character holding an asset token within range 2 of an allied character. If the result is a crit, wild, or hit, the enemy character drops the asset token of your choice. Really, really cool to see how she manipulates the plans of your enemy, in the sense that if they're contesting, all of a sudden they're going to need, and you push, and you do get that hit, wild, or crit, which is likely when they're contesting the objective that you're also contesting. You can push them short, which takes an action for most people to get back from that unless they have some sort of movement capabilities and such. And even with the asset tokens, you know, it's completely playing with that when they're within range 2 of you, and you can force them to drop the asset tokens. Yeah, it's I'm definitely going to try her out to see, because it just looks like a way of manipulating your opponents and controlling the objectives with her, and so it seems really good. And I think I have some stuff that will help me with that in the list I'm going to be putting her into, which I'm going to sort of try to refine as time goes on, and I might try it out. She has Hit and Run. It's an action. This character may cost 2 power. This character may, and it's one of her superpowers, I should say. This character immediately makes an attack action followed by a move action, so she has a lot of mobility when she does that, and range with her attacks as well, which is really nice. Yeah, and you can only use it once a turn. Costs 2 power, like I said. You have a reactive power called Partners in Crime. At the end of the character's activation, if it is within range 4 of an allied crossbones, this character may use a superpower. If the allied crossbones does not have an activation token, he may activate before your turn ends. And then air, which is really good because it allows you to sort of control the flow of activations and stuff like that. So if you want to activate first in the following round, you basically get both your activations off, and hopefully that will help you control that way. Or if you need to jump on somebody, you can do that as well with partners in crime. So Heir to the Wicked, when this character is damaged by an enemy or allied effect, which is really cool because it's enemy or allied, so even if you're like in the beam of an attack and you take 1 damage, after the effect is resolved, you gain 1 power. Super cool, really like that. So hopefully she can build up power quite quickly when you pair that with her automatic pistols, and then Heir to the Wicked as well. And then she has stealth, so characters must be within range 3 of this character to target her with attacks. On the flip side, the biggest change is that she has 6 stamina instead of 4, and I think that is the only change on the back from my perspective. But yeah, just the 6 stamina on the back. Viper's card. You do have no changes from the front to the back. So she is 5 stamina on the front and 5 stamina on the back. Movement of long, size 2, 3 threat character. Her defenses are 3, 3, and 3. So your average defenses on her. Her first basic strike is Poison Blade Rage 2, 5 dice, 0 power. After this attack resolved, the character gains power equal to the damage dealt. And then you also have the, on a wild, you poison the target character, gains a special, the poison special condition. So she starts limiting the power that her opponents have, because they lose 1 in the power phase after they gain 1 when they have this poison special rule or special condition. She has Assassin's Pistol, range 3, 4 dice, 0 power. On a wild, it causes a stun, and after the attack is resolved, the character gains 1 power. And then she has Viper Strike, range 3, strength 6, 3 power to do. After this attack is resolved, place the character within range 1 of the target, so it gives her some mobility, which is really nice. And you can sort of place her into a position that she hopefully can benefit from. And then on a wild, she has the Venom special rule there. So after this attack is resolved, the target character gains the slow and stun special condition, which slow and stun is, well, stun is good to mitigate the amount of power that your opponent can get yet again. And then slow just affects everybody. Unless you're already slow, then it doesn't. But like slow can just, I just find, can really harm your opponent's plans when everybody on the board is slow. So, and it's only costs 3 power to do so, so it's not bad to get those conditions out there. Her first superpower is an active superpower, Displacement Ring. Places character within range 2 of his current position. Can only be used once per turn. Costs 2 power to do so. And then she has a reactive, which is Coiled Serpent, very similar to Gamora's martial prowess. Spend 2 power. When this character is targeted by attack within range 2, you may use this superpower. Instead of rolling dice equal to its defense, it rolls 5 defense dice. Then, if this character suffers no damage from the attack, after the attack is resolved, the attacker suffers 2 damage. So really good. And if she is in range where she wants to be, she's going to be rolling 5 defense dice all day long. And then she has stealth, so you can't target her from more than range 3 away. So super good that way. And like I said, the front and back are both the same. So that's the cards. I'm gonna put Viper and Sin into a list. I'm just not sure what yet, so I'm gonna talk about that next. All right, so talking about my list that I'm gonna put these guys into that I quickly threw together. Obviously, they're both in it, so I have Sin and Viper as both of one of my characters of my 10 characters from my roster. Up next, I thought because of the Taxes cards, I'm definitely going to bring Crossbones in there. Plus, it sort of plays off of Sin's ability to allow him to activate out of order, which can be a huge boon. We see it tons of times with Proxima and Corvus Glaive. Not that I think Crossbones is nearly as good as Corvus Glaive, that's not what I mean. But I just think that being able to control the flow of activations is really good. Or to be able to jump on somebody to do a ton of damage and hopefully take somebody out, or maybe even 2 characters out if you're extremely lucky, is fantastic. I have Baron Zemo in there as another 3-pointer. 3 threat, just because he has that long movement as well as good defensive capabilities, with the counterattack, as well as the his rerolls that he gives out not only to himself but to his opponents as well, or to his allies as well. I have Enchantress for board control. I think she's one of the probably best 4-pointers at this point with the amount of board control that she has. And having 2 power right off the hop is great, and has that nice enchanting superpower, which means that she'll always use her mystical defense when you attack her, unless you pay 2 power. Amora's Kiss is the thing that allows her to steal objectives and that. So again, board control or objective control. So I definitely want to pair Enchantress with Sin to really manipulate and control people and the objectives through Sin's leadership ability and Enchantress's being able to steal things, as well as Siren's Call, which is the allowing you to advance characters short when they're within range 3. So I got those. I have Green Goblin in there as well. I enjoy the hit and run type style stuff, and I find his instant rate, and that will help immensely if you can pull it off. And he's just a fun character that I decided to throw in there for the sake of throwing him as well. So yeah, that's that, and his defensive capability of being able to deal damage when he explodes things. What is it called? Trick or Treat, where he blows things up that when you move within range 4 of him, and then they're within range 2 of terrain, you can blow it up and stuff. I have Toad for being able to interact with objectives while within range 2 of them, being able to pull objectives off my own guys, so that way they can steal other objectives, and I should say assets, right? So it's move 1 asset or civilian token the chosen character is holding to this character, and it allows me to hopefully use the people that are more in the foreground to pull stuff from there. He has a good defensive ability in the sense of hop, so if I rush him forward to go pick up that center objective, if he is targeted by attack, I can then use the 2 power to bring him back as well. So, but yeah, and being able, like I said, to interact when within range 2 instead of range 1 of an objective is fantastic. Viper, she's next on the list. I already mentioned her though, so that she's going to be in there. I have Kingpin because it's sort of like a mix of Criminal Syndicate as well as Cabal. And Kingpin, again, is just, I find he's very tough with his intense physical conditioning, I think it is. So when he suffers damage, I can use superpower to reduce the amount by 1. He has some good throws, so he can sort of control people that way. And then just some half-decent attacks, I find. Plus, it gives me another affiliation if I want to use it. Taskmaster, well, why not? He goes with the Criminal Syndicate affiliation and is quite good for 3 threat. Fairly defensive and yeah, really good. So with a bunch of different attacks. So, and then MODOK is the last character that I have for my 10-man slot. And yeah, because he's MODOK. MODOK does everything. Again, board control and everything else. I did not put Red Skull in there. I guess I could drop Green Goblin, but I'm gonna leave Green Goblin in there because it just gives me more options later on when I'm looking at like Mysterio and stuff like that to add in there is something that I'm thinking of at least. That's the train of thought at this point in time. So those are the characters. Tactics cards wise, I'm going to use Illicit Tech, obviously, and I'm going to try out to Ash and Cinder, and so I have 9 that I want to use, and I'm not sure what one to sort of to get rid of, and I'm probably leaning more to get rid of to Ashes and Cinder, but I'm not sure. So we got Bitter Rivals, because Bitter Rivals is fantastic. You play it on a guy and all of his allies within 3, I believe it is. They roll 1 less attack and defense die. And so that's fantastic. Aim Lackeys is MODOK pays 3 power, and then choose another allied character. That character may perform a move action as an additional action during its next activation. So yeah, it's in my train of thought to sort of overcome the slowness of crossbones. I thought I'd use, say Modoc with crossbones, use aim lackey if I need to, and then my next tactic card was extreme conditioning. Pay 2 power. You can move long during the next turn as well. So I guess the other way that I can get around that, what is it, climbing gear, which is you're allowed to, you have wall crawler, I think, but you're allowed to make a short movement instead of this extreme conditioning. So those are sort of up for debate, but I'm thinking extreme conditioning paired with Modoc's aim lackeys. Field dressing med pack, shadow organization in case I end up playing criminal syndicate. Basically you spend 2 power during the power phase. Any number of allied criminal syndicate characters can spend 2 power during the power phase, and then you have to be within range 2 of them to be able to attack them. And then I have one of these two, or both of these two, like I said, and then the last one is Dark Rain, which any Cabal character may spend 3 power to play this card and choose an enemy character. Allied Cabal characters may reroll any number of attack dice when attacking the chosen character this round. So it's just, if I need somebody gone, that's my target them and get them going type attack. So those are the tactics cards. I'm not sure which one to take out, and so I'm gonna work through that sort of list and creating that list. I might just take out extreme conditioning if I have aim lackeys, or I might just take out aim lackeys and put in climbing gear. So many options. That's where I'm tied up right now. And then crisis wise, I'm thinking alien ship crashes in downtown, fear grips the world as worthy terrorized cities, struggles for the cube continue. For extractions, and then gamma waves sweep across the Midwest, which is E style. Riot spark over extremis 3.0 D, which it allows you to heal people. And then I was thinking Mayor Fisk, just in case I get, or if I want to take the criminal syndicate and use Fisk's leadership ability. So I'm looking at maybe adding another E-style secure instead of either Mayor Fisk or Riot Spark over Extremis 3.0. That's my train of thoughts, at least. And that's where I'm at. So I'm going to get these guys painted. I'm hoping that when this lockdown happens, which is supposed to be sometime in May, that I can get it on the board. And by that point in time, I'll have these guys sort of hammered out, or this list hammered out and thrown together. But yeah, in the description or in the comments of the video down below, definitely leave what your thoughts are on the list. Thoughts that you think of tactics cards you should bring, crisis that you should bring, and such. Let me know, because I'm definitely interested in hearing what you guys have to say. So if you like this stuff, definitely let me know as well, and I'll continue to do more of it. If you haven't yet, you can check out Torchlight Gaming or Games and Hobbies. Their link is in the description of the video. So they're the ones, like I said, that I bought this box from, and they've been helping out the channel with a few things. So it's been great, and I definitely appreciate the support. So a big thank you to them, and you guys should definitely check them out. To everybody else, you can check out the Patreon link as well in the description of the video. To our Patreon members, past and present, we appreciate the support that you guys have given. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, ignite your hobby.